If someone was asked to describe what is love, give a definition, what is love, they'd likely say something along the lines of, well, love is a feeling that lives in our heart. Or love is a sentiment, it's a feeling that one person has for another. And that certainly is the commonly depicted version of love we see in songs on the radio and movies, etc. Well, in our gospel today, our Lord is telling us very clearly that Christian love is something quite more than just a feeling. Christian love, in fact, is not principally expressed by feelings. No, Christian love is better shown forth by our decisions and by our actions. So Christian love is not something that only lives in the interior of ourselves. It certainly does live in our hearts. It certainly does live in the interior. But mainly, Christian love is something that is expressed. It is, in fact, a lived reality. Christian love is a lived reality. This is very important for us to be mindful of for several reasons. Well, first of all, it gives us a very clear guide as to what our mission is as Christian men and women, as disciples of Jesus Christ. And secondly, it helps us to discern the difference between our emotions and our reality. Sometimes I'll hear from people, someone may come up to me and say, Father, I really try my best to love God. I try my best to love God, but recently I'm not finding the same kind of joy that I once did in my prayers. I don't feel the same presence of God as I might have felt in the past. I say my prayers every day. I receive the sacraments reverently. I do my best to show Christian charity towards my brothers and sisters. But somehow I just feel flat. Well, most people have an experience of this at some point in their lives. And it's not necessarily a sign that there's something wrong. We can even see this in the lives of some of the great saints of our age. Look at St. John of the Cross, who spoke about the dark night of the soul. And even quite recently, in the writings of Mother Teresa, some people who I'm assuming maybe aren't particularly religious people, were kind of scandalized when they heard that Mother Teresa wrote in some of her journals that she at times felt very distant from God. But people who are people of faith have felt that before, that there are times we have that felt presence of God, and there's times that even though we know God's there, we don't have that same felt presence of God. Ultimately, what does this mean? It means that our feelings aren't really a particularly good measure of our relationship with God. They're not to be discarded entirely. No, not to be discarded entirely, but they're really not a great objective measure. Because our feelings are fickle things. They're kind of fickle. Our emotions are fickle. They're here one day, they're gone the next. They're all over the place a little bit often. What's a better measure of our relationship with God, a better measure of our lives as Christian men and women, is what we're doing, how our love is being lived forth, how we're expressing the love in our words, in our actions. And so the question for us is, well then how do I work to love better? How do I work to love God more, to love my neighbor more? Because what is the commandment that our Lord gives to us in our gospel today? To love God with all our mind, all our heart, all our soul, to love our neighbor as ourselves. I don't think any of us can truly honestly say that we're quite there yet, right? We're always on the road, we're working to get better, we're working to improve ourselves. So how do we do that? Well, first of all, how do we start to try and better love God? How do we try and start to better love God? Well, the answer is not going to be shocking to you. We need to be praying. But I'm not just going to say in general, pray. A very specific prayer that I would really recommend to increase the love for God is to make sure that you're being very mindful and very deliberate when you receive the Holy Eucharist, a communion. Be very mindful and very deliberate of that action. That is a perfect moment to renew our love for God, is when we receive the Holy Eucharist. Because in that moment, Jesus, in his love for us, is offering himself to us as spiritual food. He is present to us in the Eucharist, in his body, his blood, his soul, and his divinity. He is truly present to us and truly giving himself to us as spiritual food. And so in that moment that Jesus, in love, in his mercy, in his tenderness towards us, his people, is offering himself to us as spiritual food, we are to be mindful that we're returning that love to God in our own hearts. That we're saying, God, I know you love me. I know you love me, and I love you too. I love you also, God. In the same way that you are giving yourself to me, I strive to give myself to you. That's a perfect prayer just to make when you're standing there in the communion line. It certainly beats thinking about what you're going to have for lunch, right? To try and to make that prayer of renewing our love for God as we're about to receive the Holy Eucharist. And secondly, how do we increase our love for our brothers and sisters? How do we increase our love for those around us? Well, what I would say about that is we must begin with loving those that are truly in our surroundings, people in our families, the people that we encounter every day. It's kind of a paradoxical thing, kind of an odd truth, but it's sometimes easier to show a Christian love for someone on the other side of the globe than it is someone who's our neighbor. Why is that? Because we don't know the person on the other side of the globe. They're not inconveniencing us. They're all the way over there. So it's easy to love the idea of them. It's easy to love the idea. And that's not to say that we shouldn't be giving to charities that help out in disadvantaged nations. Certainly not. Of course not. But it is to say that we are to be particularly mindful of being loving Christians towards the people that are directly around us. Because the people directly around us can sometimes be a little bit hard to love. People directly around us can be inconvenient. They can be rude. They can be impolite. People who are directly around us, we can do nice things for them, and they can be ungrateful. They can be ungrateful. But you'll notice in the commandments that our Lord has left us, the word but doesn't appear. He doesn't say, love your neighbor as yourself, but if he's ungrateful, well, you don't worry about that guy. Love your neighbor as yourself, but if it's really inconvenient, forget about it. No, we are called to love our neighbor as ourselves in spite of the fact that our neighbor can be troublesome, bothersome, and frankly annoying sometimes. We are still called to show forth Christian love in trying circumstances and in difficult circumstances, and in fact in trying circumstances and in difficult circumstances. And we're very careful when we're encountering people that we are called to love as Christians, that we're not apt to say things like, well, I'd help them, but they brought this problem that they have on themselves. Hold on whenever you have that thought come into your mind, because there are many things that we have earned by our misjudgments and by our misdeeds and by the mistakes that we have made, and God has mercifully spared us from the consequences of those sometimes. And so it's very important that when we see somebody, even when they're in a problem and that's completely their own fault that they're in that kind of a pickle. They landed it in themselves by making this bad decision. We are called to love them anyway. And we are called to be Christians to them in the midst of that. Not because they have earned our mercy, not because they have earned our love, but because it is what Christ asks of us as his disciples, to love our neighbor as ourselves. And so, whenever we seek to live as Christians, we truly strive to do so by the grace of the Holy Spirit. We're never relying upon our weak human will, because our weak human wills are in fact weak. They're apt to break. And so we're relying upon the grace of the Holy Spirit. And we pray that we might truly recognize ourselves as disciples of Jesus Christ, as called to be obedient to the commandments that he has left down, and that we are called to people of love, people who have a deep-rooted love in our hearts for God, that we are truly able to love the Lord our God with all our hearts and all our souls and all our minds, and that we strive to love our neighbor, every neighbor, as ourselves.